Then this scene, this whole movie after she becomes Catwoman is so fucking horny all the time. Yes.
Okay, well, there's this
so
scene,
horny.
this entire scene. They're ready to bone zone in front of all these kids.
Basketball fucking in front of all these elementary school kids. They might as well be fucking in front of these 8-year-olds. It is uncomfortable. Hello and welcome back to the 77th episode. Good, Bad, or Bad, the show where we watch terrible movies and tell you if you should too. Kyle, how you feeling today?
We watched a good one.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done a blockbuster. Since a well-known film.
This is a very generous definition of blockbuster.
Yeah, that's fair. But it's been a while since we've done a very well-known, like a big budget, big budget studio film.
Like Anaconda was a studio film.
We generally go for the lesser-known, hidden gems, but this is a big one. We've been holding on to it for a while because you've been wanting to watch it, and I've never seen this movie. We're talking about 2004's Catwoman.
I am excited for your entire reaction to this.
It was something. Before we get into it, I want to mention we finally have a P.O. box.
What?
Yes. We have a P.O. box. If you want to send us stuff, this is where you can send it. Whatever, if you have stuff, I know people have movies and stuff like that. Feel free. It's big enough, you can fit several packages in it at a time.
Don't send us incriminating evidence. That's
nope.
It's not wise and it's not really wanted.
Or any, shall we say, perishable human material. None of that. All right. Anyways, but anything else, movies, that sort of stuff, you can send it to the P.O. Box. It's also down in the description. Kyle, this film was directed by a man known simply as Pitoff.
Two things. One, he's European.
Yeah.
He only has one name.
Yeah.
And two, he is an artiste.
I mean, the big mainstream movie or, remake, and they're not good. I mean, come on, they're not good. They make money, of course, but they're not good movies.
Yeah, it's almost a formula.
Yeah, it's popcorn. I mean, I'm not against making money, but it's just there's nothing good in whatever I've seen so far in a mainstream movie.
Yes, a true auteur. So what's interesting about this guy is that before this movie, he had directed one other film, a film called Vidot. I don't know how to pronounce it.
He had to have known somebody. He had to have known a producer.
Here's what it was. He was the second unit director on Alien Resurrection. He's very good friends and had worked closely with Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
That makes sense.
Doesn't that make a lot of sense?
Oh, I honestly would have thought we'd have Ron Perlman in this movie then.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want to play basketball, I know some other indoor sports.
Here's the thing. Jean-Pierre Jeunet, an amazing filmmaker. He's had his ups and downs, but overall, he's a very talented filmmaker. Amelie's one of my, if not my favorite movies of all time. And Delicatessen's also really good. And I don't hate Resurrection as much as a lot of people, but it's not great, but that's a whole other discussion. That being said, so he's worked with him a few times, and that's where I think this kind of came from. Now, that being said, I also would have loved to see this movie directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. That would have been a very different experience. But you can kind of see some of the style.
You can, in certain ways, like
a little. It's not as talented.
He would have been more practical about it. But this director, what was his name?
Pitoff.
Yeah. Pitoff relied heavily on CGI.
Yeah. Yeah, which I feel like it kind of had to some extent with this. It would have been tough to do, but we'll get into it. All right. So yeah, that's who crafted this thing. Like I said, I've never seen this movie. Somehow, I've literally never seen a second of it other than the trailer, or some of the trailer.
For my favorite part of this movie, Brian, how many writers does this film have?
5?
More like 20.
Does it?
I know Halle Berry, whenever she went to the Razzie
I had that note,
and
yeah.
accepted the Razzie for West Actress. She said, I'd like to thank the 20 writers who made this movie possible.
Thank you for putting me in a piece of shit, god-awful movie. I want to thank the writers, all 20 of them.
That doesn't surprise me based on the tonal shifts and just all of the little weird things that occur throughout this movie. It's but you would think with 20 writers, one of them would have had the idea I will present at one point here in this review that would make this movie even just the marginal
too many chefs in the kitchen
better.
Man. Too many chefs in the
way too many
kitchen.
chefs.
Too many cooks, too many cooks.
So we get to the opening, get some Egyptian imagery to start with. Opening credits. If you're gonna give me 4 minutes of opening credits, goddammit, at least give me a cold open. But they don't. They just jump right into the credits, and it's cats through the ages.
It's not just cats through the ages. A particular breed of cats through the ages.
Yes, and people. Women with cat masks badly photoshopped onto like historical paintings.
It's great. Like, and the cats were photoshopped in too. For a couple of them.
Yeah. I love the masks though. You can tell are so clearly added in onto these like historical art, and I was like, all right, we're
Hollywood in early 2000s.
Yeah. Oh, this is a time capsule of early 2000 filmmaking. It is just delicious. Like, it's so many little terrible things. And, like, it opens with a voiceover, her body floating through the ocean, and her saying, I love this line, "The day that I died was also the day I started to live."
Because the day that I died was also the day I started to live.
But we'll get there in a minute, is what she says.
Yeah.
Then we jump back. And immediately you're just punched in the face by the early 2000 clothes. Everybody is dressed like it's 2003 because it is.
I was designing ads for beauty cream.
You are so addicted to that stuff, Sally.
I believe.
Yeah.
And it hurt me.
My hero.
Also, immediately you get a feeling for what the editing is going to be like in this film, which is frenetic, let's say.
It is essentially a child on a sugar high.
Yes. The one scene that really drives it home, and it's pretty early here, is even just this opening discussion between the friends sitting at the cubicles. We cut like 20 times.
Union is magic in a bottle, baby.
I don't even know how you get it. It's not even in production yet.
We have our ways.
No.
But the one that really hit it was the boardroom scene. There's the boardroom scene at the beginning with the main bad guy and Sharon Stone. I don't know the bad guy's name. Her husband.
The guy looks like Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, the guy from the Matrix movies.
That is him. It's totally him.
Yeah, the weird sex guy from the Matrix movies.
It starts so simply. Each line of the program creating a new effect, just like poetry.
Their opening scene. They never learned the 180-degree rule, man.
It's
a
all
circular
over the
room,
place.
and the camera is in every possible position in this room that it could be.
Precisely, we will launch the most exciting and revolutionary product to hit the beauty industry since soap.
And it cuts every second and a half.
They were like, we have a circular room that's 360 degrees. You know what we need? A camera shot on every single one of them.
Yes, from multiple angles on each of them, so that we're constant. I was like, where am I in this room? Is like Nightcrawler have the camera teleporting around the room, like as we're watching this fucking scene?
Beauty. Now, Bueling doesn't just hide the effects of aging, it actually reverses them.
But so we're introduced to the main character, Halle Berry's character, Patience Phillips, I think, is it? Or Patience something.
Yes, Patience Phillips.
And her best friend, played by Alex Borstein, who I love Alex Borstein, and I think she's okay in this movie. She's not in much.
She's a character actor.
Yeah, she is. Like, she's really great in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is a show on Amazon or something like that I've been watching. She's amazing in that.
I brought this.
I don't want to read your diary.
It's not my diary.
I don't care what your first time felt like.
It's not my diary. It's a notebook I write thoughts down in.
That's a fucking diary.
No, it's not.
She plays a similar kind of sidekick friend
She gets
character.
she gets the kind of crappy role, which is everything you do, because just how it was written, everything you do can be cut out and nobody would miss anything.
Yeah, she's just the sidekick jokester. She's the comic relief friend, kind of. Like, she just, like, makes crass jokes and, like, plays off Halle Berry.
Tom Lone. Rhymes with cone, phone, bone.
But she also is not in the entire second half of this movie.
No, not at all.
She gets in the hospital and then disappears from the film.
The second she's in the, you could see the while they were doing production, she was like, "I'm busy with this thing.
Yeah.
So is there any way we could rewrite it to where I'm not here?
Where I'm in the hospital." Yeah. She's like, "I'm gonna get sick, and then I'm not gonna be in this movie."
But it's so pretty.
Okay, and then so Halle Berry's an artist. She's like a graphic artist. Works for a marketing firm, who does work for this big. One of their main clients is this big. Or explicitly is just.
I think she's in the art department of the beauty.
I swear
supply.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I swear she said she worked for a marketing firm. I guess it's just the marketing department of this beauty company or whatever. Because the guy comes into their office and yells at him.
You do not, in fact, even know where they are, and you do not know where they are because, and I quote you, you cannot remember.
I mean, I don't think that would fly if it was like an outside marketing firm. Like,
that would be great.
Yeah, but she does art for them, and I love like one of the interesting things about her character that I found was that she says, "I thought I'd be an artist at this point. At this point in my life, I thought I'd be an artist."
You are.
I was supposed to be an artist by now.
Yeah.
You are.
She's like, "Instead, I'm a graphic artist for this giant company," and it's like, yeah, you're an artist. Like, okay, I get that it's like an evil corporation, so like that sucks, but like. You are just an artist. Like, you're an artist. Like, you did it. You achieved the dream.
Yeah.
You're working.
It's not glamorous.
No, but here's the thing. She's still, but it kind of is in the sense that like I get like, because we see the art she does and it's like more abstract, you know, like kind of artsy stuff, which I get. But like, she clearly has time to also do that.
Yes. Even when she's on a goddamn schedule.
Yeah.
She even takes time. She's like, I got to do this in my part. It's like.
Yeah.
You have to get this done by midnight, like the next day, and you're doing a side project.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, so, okay, so like I get that like your passion is you want to be like, you know, like a true artiste, but like you get to do a job making kind of interesting, like doing interesting graphic design for a big company while also getting to be an artist. It's like, you're fucking killing it. Like, what are you complaining about? Living in a giant apartment in New York or wherever the hell she lives.
Apparently awful location if you're trying to get sleep.
That's true. She lives right next to an underground bar. Like, it's like, yeah.
Do you think you could just maybe turn the music down just
So we get the introductory scene for Benjamin Bratt. She sees a cat outside her window. She's got to go out and see what's going on with the cat. And now look, I love cats. I have 2 cats. Big cat fan. I'm not climbing out on my 3rd-story balcony to save some random cat.
You got up there, you're getting down.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe if it was my cat, some random cat, not happening. But she climbs out and gets stuck on an air conditioning unit that is about to fall. And Benjamin Bratt is a police officer.
Oh, shocker! Benjamin Bratt playing a detective.
Yeah, right. A little bit typecast there. But he sees her, thinks she's a jumper, and this is how they meet. He comes up, saves her. She's got to leave and go to work because she's late for work.
Oh, and he breaks down her door.
Yeah, breaks down her door like a boss. And then we're introduced to Sharon Stone and the husband. Like I said, new younger model is taking over for Sharon Stone, which she's not happy about.
But we have decided to choose a new face to represent Violin.
Exactly. Dorina, the future of Adair Beauty.
So she has to. She's making art for this guy. She has to get it to the warehouse.
Yeah, because he didn't have the right. She didn't have the right kind of red.
Not the perfect red.
I am so sorry.
I mean, look at this red. It's all wrong. I wanted it darker.
I specifically heard you say that.
I know what I said.
But she takes it there. There's nobody there to let her in. And she goes in like a back door. She finds like a back door to get inside. And as she goes in, we're introduced to this scientist who's talking about their latest product. Also, spoiler or not spoiler, but setup we missed. Alex Borstein's character has been using.
These side effects from the long-term studies.
That won't happen if they keep using it, and we'll make sure they do.
And so the scientist is talking about this. And while the scientist is talking, we get jump cuts of him talking.
I don't care that the FDA never saw the headaches and the nausea and the fainting spells. Those are symptoms I can live with.
He's just like, why are we cutting? Could he not deliver more than 3 words at a time, and we have to jump cut everything?
I love his sample video. Like he's like, and this is what happens to a person's face if they stop using the product.
Yeah,
and so they turn into a burn victim. Yeah. With the Joker smile carved into their face.
Yeah, and I was wondering
because it is Warner.
I was wondering if that was a little... Because, that's another thing that's crazy about this movie. There's no
zero
references.
Zero DC universe stuff.
You would think, they would mention Batman. Or there's nothing.
Or even refer to the city as Gotham.
Or anything. Yeah, you get nothing. None of that. And I was like, that's really wild. And now this is kind of before the whole shared... I mean, this is 2004. Iron Man's 2008. So this is well before the whole shared universe kind of idea
This
took
was
over,
them trying to piggyback off of Spider-Man's success.
Yeah, exactly. But it was strange that they didn't... You would still think even little, Easter eggs, even if they aren't thinking, shared universe, just oh, yeah, mention Batman or something, just so people are like, Batman!
Or even Wayne Industries.
Right. Yeah,
which could totally make sense because Wayne Industries, I think they have a biomedical stuff, and that would be a perfect example to bring them in.
Yeah, exactly. But they just weren't thinking in that regard, which is really interesting to me.
20 people, none of them comic nerds.
I know. Well, and none of them thought. Yeah, right, exactly.
I want to thank the writers, all 20 of them.
And then but I love the scientist is like, look, I'm fine that we didn't get FDA approval. I'm also fine that it's super addictive.
I don't care that the FDA never saw the headaches and the nausea and the fainting spells. I can live with it being addictive, but these side effects from the long-term studies...
What I'm not fine about is that they get scars on their face. That's over the line. And he's like, I'm going to tell somebody. And they're like, yeah, you can't do that. But she stumbles into this room and sees this. And then they notice she's there and she runs.
Who's there?
I'm on my way.
So she runs away. They chase her for a while. She ends up in the sewers, and she hides in the sewers. And they're like, "Well, we got to kill her. Just flood the sewers or whatever." And I love the guy opens the panel, and they use the most recognizable stock Metal Creek sound effect. It's that gate. Yeah, it's that. They use that when I was like, "Oh, fucking classic."
I mean, this is just a minor thing. What kind of manufacturing facility in the Bay of the New York area, where
Gotham area,
Gotham, essentially you have there, and you have massive runoff that goes into the river.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of the thing is they're evil corporation they don't care about, but it's not remotely hidden. They're in a place where anybody can see they're just dumping thousands and thousands. I mean,
it's a building on an island in the middle of a big city area. It's more noticeable than all the other buildings.
Yeah, and they have all these giant, 8-foot or 10-foot wide tubes dumping billions of gallons of waste into the bay, and nobody notices. So they turn it on, and she gets hit by all this makeup waste and knocked into the 300 feet down into the bay.
She gets the Joker treatment.
Yeah.
She gets hit with chemicals.
Yeah, she does. And so she's dead. And this is the moment too where I realized this movie is so perfectly caught between two eras of superhero movies. It is so smack between the modern Marvel era with Iron Man in 2008 and the Batman Forever era. And it's right in between. Like, because this scene reminded me so much, like, the way it's shot and stuff of, like, when Jim Carrey as...
The Mask?
Not The Mask. In Batman Forever. The Riddler. He plays the Riddler in that one. Have you seen that? Yeah. And where he throws the guy out of Wayne Tower and he falls like 300 feet into the bay or whatever. It's like the same shot. The elements of this movie, like, so everybody knows what like Marvel humor is like. It's like its own kind of genre of like what Marvel movies and the type of humor it has. This one isn't anywhere like that. This is absolutely like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin humor, where it's like too silly for like the tone of the film.
Yes.
But the film is also not serious enough to be interesting. It's just stuck in kind of like a wasteland of just rough 2004.
Here's shitty plot, and then Alex Borstein comes over and like juggles balls in the air for a little bit, and then leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go. Future father, my children's coming. Sweet dreams, honey. Excuse me. I think I might have a fever.
And then so she washes up on the shore, and this doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't just wash up on the shore. She's a good like 20 feet inland.
Yeah, you're right. I guess the tide went down or something. Who knows? So she's dead, and all of a sudden, all these cats.
Real cats, by the way.
Oh, most of them.
Most of them at this point.
Yeah.
Real cats, and then we get the cat she tried saving, Midnight, and then it instantly goes CGI cat.
And it walks up to her and breathes the breath of life into her. And brings her back to life. And I was like, okay, here's such a simple thing that I'm amazed that this movie didn't do. Because I went back and double checked. I was like, because in this moment, I'm like, well, why are these cats there? Why are they drawn to her? Like, why is she getting this?
She's a skinwalker or a sleepwalker.
Yeah, right.
Damn, too bad we can't add anything.
Yeah, I know. This content has been claimed by whoever the fuck made that terrible movie. Yep. But I was like, okay, so why are the cats drawn to her? Why are they bringing her back to life? Now, and I don't know any of the comic book backstory of Catwoman. I have no idea.
I mean, if you want to go backstory, it's just she's a burglar who dresses like a cat.
Right.
A cat burglar.
Okay. Fair enough. So in this one, she's brought back to life by the cats, and they give her powers. Why don't they do this? Because it's a perfect tie-in to the story. If when she gets into that lab, right, when she goes in to talk to those people, they're doing their testing on cats, right? That's totally a thing that's like a controversial thing in the makeup industry is animal testing.
Brian, I want you to rephrase that. Realize this. This is a makeup company that is doing skincare products, particularly of ointments and lotions, testing on cats.
Yeah, they shave them first. I mean, they do it like, okay, because whatever, bullshit, make it up. I don't care. Like, but that makes, because that's like a controversial thing within the makeup industry is like animal testing. So they're doing it on cats. And one of the cats they happen to trap. They're trapping these cats in the city, and you have a little backstory set up about how people's cats are going missing, and so they're taking this lab. And so one of the cats that goes missing is this Midnight, who's like a super smart genius ancient cat. Sees her come in. She somehow sees all this. She lets the cats out while she's there. She's like, this is bullshit. Lets them out. Runs away. Same thing happens. She dies, and the cats, as payback for her saving them, Midnight brings her back to life and gives her powers so that she can exact revenge on this evil company on behalf of the cats. It makes perfect sense,
But
Kyle.
then we couldn't have the crazy old cat lady.
I got your cat off a ledge, and ever
By
since...
Midnight, you've never brought a stranger home before. Please, come in.
We still could. She could still be the exact same role and explain everything exactly the same. It's just, we now have a reason for her, the cat's doing this, and we give her motivation, and her backstory makes infinite more sense. How did none of the 20 writers think to do that? It's so obvious. It feels so obvious to me that it's fucking mind-blowing that they didn't do it.
It's like Hell's Kitchen, where everybody's focused so much on their one thing that they forget to boil the scallops enough, and then it tastes like rubber. And Gordon Ramsay's like, it's fucking raw!
All three of you are pathetic. You don't care.
I care,
You're
Chef.
way behind and you haven't got a fucking clue. Can we work together as a team?
So she wakes up the next day, she's sleeping on top of her cabinets because she's a cat now. Which that's maybe the worst thing about this movie is the cat.
All these cat scenes are great. My favorite one's probably the catnip.
The catnip one is amazing. It's amazing. I have another favorite one, which we'll talk about towards the end of the movie. Halle Berry doesn't remember anything that happened, so she finds his cat and she's looking at him.
Oh, and by the way, the cat has like a fortune cookie style.
That's exactly the note I have. It has a fortune cookie fucking thing attached to its neck for some reason.
That has the address for the cat.
The name and address of the cat lady, and that super felt like an insert shot. Like that super felt like she picks up the cat.
Oh no! There's that, and not even. It's probably just a piece of paper that they CGI'd in the letter and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. To me, it's just.
But yeah, no, it's absolutely an insert. They were like,
how did she figure out how to get there?
They were like weeks after the fact. They're like, oh, we got to figure this out.
We don't know how did she know to get to this house? She pulled a note off the cat, and so all we have to do is film two hands pulling open a fortune cookie scroll.
Brilliant.
Nailed it. It's so stupid. So she goes and talks to this lady who we get zero explanation of who she is, why she knows any of this stuff, if she's some ancient, like, she should have also been a Catwoman. I guess she is, like, maybe that's what it's implied, but she never doesn't. She never actually does anything that makes her, because she says at one point, she explains cats have given this power to women throughout history, and that's all the people with the masks we were seeing earlier in the movie.
Catwomen are not contained by the rules of society. You follow your own desires. This is both a blessing and a curse.
She's like, you're a Catwoman.
It's like, oh, okay.
Have fun with that. And then throws a catnip ball at her. Halle Berry just rubs it all over. This is one of those moments where when you have to imagine that in this moment, Halle Berry was like, got done filming that and was like, what am I doing?
By the way, this is post-Academy Award-winning Halle Berry.
Yeah, Monster or whatever was, or not Monster.
Monster's Ball or something like that?
Monster's Ball, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, 2002. This is 2004.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I am fine.
I'm feeling less stable.
So she gets fired because she yells at her boss. It's great. She calls him out because she gets that cat ferocity.
I'm sorry for every second I wasted working for an untalented, unethical egomaniac like you.
And then it's time to shoot some hoops. Kyle,
this is the best scene in the movie.
One-on-one?
Who? Me and her?
Yeah, come on.
How this movie or the scene is so good.
So she accidentally stood up Benjamin Bratt for their date, so she wants to make amends.
Yeah.
And the best way to, of course, do that is when you have a cop talk to a bunch of elementary school students that a woman randomly, out of nowhere, basically just like enters a room.
Yeah, just walks into the school.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah. And walks in and is like, I called the station. They told me you were here. And he's like, cool. Want to go play some hoops? And they go... All right, let's do it. So they go out to the fucking like schoolyard, and they're just standing there talking. And I love the kid is just like,
1-on-1?
Who? Me and her?
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. It's like, and Halle Berry has no, like, she says later, like, I don't know how to play basketball.
Well, everything we've known about her up to the point where she becomes the Catwoman is completely uncoordinated. Yeah. Almost to just a painful experience.
Yeah, she's a doofy, like, you know, like.
Runs into everybody.
Yeah.
A job that was the practical version of my passion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's her kind of arc, quote unquote, is she turns, you know, from like this, like, bumbling, like, can't do anything, you know, put upon person into like this powerful, confident, you know. And it's like, I get it, but it's a little over the top. So the basketball scene though, the cinematography and the choreography in this fucking scene are amazing.
Yes. It is not quite as seizure-inducing as the nightclub scene.
It's close though. Oh, and they do a lot of camera like pushing up and you know, fucking going Dutch to Dutch, like just like Yes. And then like the opening thing, she does like a bunch of tricks, like not even cool tricks, like she does a couple like basic like basketball tricks. And then runs up the wall and then lands, and they're like, wow. Whoa. And I'm like, yeah, that's a super relevant basketball skill she just showed you by running. Why would you do that? It's so stupid. Then this scene, this whole movie after she becomes Catwoman is so fucking horny all the time. Yes.
Okay, well, there's this entire scene. They're ready to bonezo in front of all these kids.
Basketball fucking in front of all these elementary school kids. They might as well be fucking in front of these 8-year-olds. It is uncomfortable. It is like those strangest... I don't know whose idea it was to have them play basketball in front of 7-year-olds.
Writers 12 through 17.
Yeah, right. Get them out of here. I don't like them. To have them play basketball in front of these 7-year-olds and just like fucking grinding on each other and just like... just tight butt shots and just like the weirdest sexual energy while they're playing basketball.
The kids are like, I'm pretty sure that one's a foul.
I don't know if it's a foul, but I'm feeling things. It is so strange, man. It is so weird. And then it's so and then she almost dunks, but she doesn't. She like jumps way up and then throws the basketball at the hoop. And that's it. That's the end of the scene. But it is the editing, the shots, it just whose idea was that whole scene? It is a masterpiece. Like that scene is a straight up masterpiece.
It's nauseating at the same time. You can't stop laughing at it.
You can't stop laughing. You can't look away. It is a perfect train wreck of a bad movie scene. And I love too, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense because cats are notoriously good at basketball.
Yeah, have you ever heard of air cat? Like airplane? That was awful.
That's so bad.
What would be a cat name that you could just air? You could air. I think I have one. Muggsy.
What? So then we find out that Sharon Stone's husband's cheating on her. Doesn't matter, but she has super strength for some reason because she crushes a lowball whiskey glass in her hand.
The cream that she has been bathing her face in has given her superpowers.
Yes. Yeah. So on top of it being super addictive and will eventually turn you into a monster with scars, it gives you superpowers before that.
And they want to put this on the commercial market.
Yeah. I love them. Like, you guys, like... That was the thing. I was like, does everybody who uses this get superpowers? Because Alex Borstein just gets headaches and has to go to the hospital when she uses it. But Sharon Stone gets superpowers. So, all right, cool.
Maybe that was the plan. Make everybody super.
Yeah.
So no one is.
Well, at this point, we don't know if there are any other superheroes because they don't ever mention Batman or anybody else.
True.
So at one point, because we set up, like you said earlier, there's the bar next, or the neighbors who keep her up all night. And this is when she has her first kind of Catwoman moment. She's trying to sleep. And before, she just let them be loud and she didn't do anything about it. This time, she goes over there. She beats him up, the guy who's like an asshole. And I love... She uses
a
tap from a beer keg.
Tap.
Yeah, from a beer keg.
And she's shooting these speakers, which, by the way, that's not how a fucking speaker system would work.
It's also not how she shoots it like 20 feet out of this thing. That's not that much pressure in a
So like, there's everything is there. Is like, are you kidding me?
Well, and on top of that, then she rips it out of the beer keg or whatever
and uses it as a whip.
Yeah. Hey. Which is like a fun idea of like, where'd she get the idea for a whip? But spoilers, fucking beer keg taps aren't 10 feet long. No. They're like 3 feet long. You can't, okay, sure, great.
You hear that? It's called silence. That's all I ever wanted.
She cuts her hair two-handed.
She Edward Scissorhands her hair.
And then she decides she needs to go steal some jewelry because she needs accessories.
Time to accessorize.
So she gets to this jewelry store to steal this jewelry. Turns out there's already some thieves there stealing stuff. And she decides she's gonna stop them because she wants the stuff. And I was like, it's very lucky. Because she's wearing now at this point this leather jumpsuit that Alex Borstein like bought her as a Christmas present. It's like a leather jacket and pants or whatever. And she's like, I'll never wear that. But she wears it. But that's all she's wearing. It was a very good thing that this jewelry store was doing like a masquerade themed sale or something because they have like masquerade masks in all of their things. And she takes one out, like a black Catwoman mask. I was like, well, that was convenient.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. It's kind of a clever way for her to get the mask.
They get into...
She fights all these
I don't say a shootout because it's a one-sided...
Yeah.
She doesn't have a gun, but they do.
No.
But she gets into a fight and she's doing just a whole bunch of what do they call? Is it capoeira? Capoeira.
I think is how it's pronounced.
But it's basically that fighting.
So. Kind of. So this one scene in isolation is probably in my opinion. And now you may feel differently.
There's one particular part where I'm like, are you fucking serious?
In general, I thought this was the best scene in the movie. I think that the way she moves mostly in this scene is kind of interesting and fits her character as Catwoman. Like she moves, like you said, kind of like gracefully and like dancing, and she's like leaping around and off walls.
And surfs.
Yes, that's terrible. That's really dumb. But a lot of the way she beats these dudes up, actually, I thought was that's pretty cool. Like, that's Catwoman fight scene. Like, that makes sense. That works. But there is one pretty great, terrible CG shot where she's running up walls, and it's like a shot of her, and it's like CG Halle Berry scurrying up walls. But again, apart from that,
beats them all and then decides to do what they were doing and just steal.
Yeah. And there is actually also in this moment a pretty cool, interesting match cut. Did you notice? So like as this scene ends, she steals the jewels
glass.
And the broken glass in the case. The camera pushes into it and then it transforms into the jewelry spread out on her bed. And I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. Like, that's a clever idea.
She takes all of it, puts it into a brown paper bag, and then writes sorry on it in the exact same handwriting that she did with the coffee cup.
Yeah, because she got the coffee for Benjamin Bratt and wrote sorry on it. And,
It's like, hey, you know who's going to go to a break-in? The police.
Again, the hair and the clothes in this movie have aged so poorly. It is just a time capsule.
Yes.
Her hair in particular, like they play it like she has long hair at the beginning of the movie as Patience, and then she cuts it and it's all short and edgy. But her longer hair looked so much better than her hair does short. I think at the time her short hair probably looked like hot, but now it just looks like kind of like the I want to speak to your manager haircut. Like that's kind of what she's rocking.
Okay, it's going to sound mean. This is the kind of hair that I've seen on like mid-40 women who work in retail stores.
Or who complain at retail stores.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see your manager haircut. That's why it's called that. Yeah, it is exactly that. It's rough. Like I said, it has not aged well. So he wants to find out who killed her because she realizes now like that she was dead and brought back to life by this cat. And then this is where we get introduced to her new Catwoman outfit, which we have no explanation where this came from. Again, this is where it felt like something must have been cut out because literally she goes, I'm going to find out who killed me. And then we cut to a shot of her walking down the street or walking across a roof or whatever. And we get a slow
this is
ass
where
body
the
pan.
CGI is just the most CGI.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, we just completely gloss over where this came from, but she has this sweet Catwoman dominatrix costume now. And apparently one of her superpowers is to be constantly oily. Because she is literally every time she's in the Catwoman costume, she is just shining. Like she is just covered in baby oil.
You could probably stick her into like a WWE event and you would miss nothing.
No, she would fit right in. Yeah, it's nuts. So she goes and she finds a guy, one of the security guards from the place, and she follows him to this nightclub.
This is seizure-rific.
Yes, she gets to the nightclub, and I love she orders a White Russian.
White Russian.
No Kahlua.
Hold the Kahlua.
No vodka.
Well, that's basically just milk.
No ice. Hold the vodka.
Yep. That's the joke.
The fuck is with this guy? Who is he?
Did you notice the bartender?
What can I do for you?
Did you notice?
Is this
something? It's a guy. He's making his second appearance on Good Bad or Bad Bad.
Oh God, who is he? What was he else at the end?
He was one of the characters in Life on the Line.
Yeah, I'm in distribution. You?
Transmission.
Well, good to have you aboard. With this new contract, we need all the men we can get.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one. I'll pull up a picture.
Was he the pork guy? Was he the second in command dude? I don't think he was.
No. It is,
or was it Owen, the next door neighbor?
Oh my God, he's gonna jump. Gee, what do you think? You control us over the staff?
Yeah, that guy. He's the bartender.
Oh my God.
He's the bartender in that scene. Yeah. Right. I was like, holy cow. Look at you. So I assume one of the ideas is maybe she kept one of the jewelry pieces because she has diamond-tipped cat claws, it seems like, but we didn't see her make those. We don't know where any of that came from. Again, one of the most important moments of most superhero origin stories. Where the fuck do you get your costume?
Where did the costume get developed from?
Yeah. None of that. We get none of it in this movie. And I was like, that had to have existed.
At least do something like Tobey Maguire where he's wearing like a hoodie and he has like a crappy mask
they
on.
do it the first time when she robs the thing because Alex Borstein gave her this leather suit for like date night. So like, yeah, okay. But then the second outfit comes out of nowhere.
A better version of that is probably the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Like the development of that costume. Terrible movie, but at least they kind of service that.
I actually think the first one's okay.
Yeah,
second one's awful. Yeah, the first one's not the worst thing in the world.
It's Dennis Leary. He made it possible.
I also will say that as bad as this movie is, which it's fucking bad, it's not boring.
No.
It moves pretty good. It's an hour and 40 minutes long, and things happen.
Because they kept cutting stuff out until they were like, does this work? It works.
Well, it works in the sense that things always are happening. We're not sitting around.
Yeah, it's like, here's action, action, action. Okay, we got a little bit of boring here. Alex Borstein come in and get out of here.
Yeah.
Go to the hospital.
Yeah. Also, they do some bullshit handwriting analysis, which really
it's amazing.
Drove me insane.
God, it's great.
Really fucking drove me insane.
See, this O is indicative of somebody who is lonely.
The broad spacing of the letters, indicative of loneliness. And the O, reaching out, insecure, handwriting of a people pleaser.
Fuck you. I love because it was so funny because the scene starts and he's like, "Are these the same person?" And it's like,
were they written by the same person?
Well, it's not an exact science.
That's valid. That's a real thing. Like, are they the same person? Yeah, maybe.
This guy's section is so BS.
We look at the loop of the Y, very self-confident, almost angry. And the O, well, this person doesn't like to play by all the rules.
And then at the end, they mirror them on top of each other, and it's the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's like fucking identical. It's like, okay, all right, great. But yeah, I was like, CSI, or no, this is a later point where I realized CSI ruined everything.
Now that's what I call
dead meat.
Whoa! The fuck is wrong with you?
Dead meat? This is a murder. That's a human person.
Brian, who's the real villain of this movie?
It's Sharon Stone.
What?
What?
Just like Total Recall.
Yeah.
For once, George, in your miserable life, be a man.
So Sharon Stone calls Halle Berry or Catwoman and is like, "Come to my house. I have evidence that that my husband's evil." She shows up and she's like, "Surprise! I killed my husband."
How'd I do? The Clyde flush thing was a little tricky.
And she tosses Halle Berry the gun and calls the cops, and everybody thinks Halle Berry killed her husband.
Just amazing execution of hit panic button. Every single cop in the city shows up to this one place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then while that's happening, she just immediately grabs a little change of outfit, and then nobody notices.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Yeah. Oh, but she does give her a cell phone at one point. And she, I don't remember, maybe this is a different part, but I love Sharon Stone hands her a cell phone at one point. Oh, this is earlier in the movie. This is before.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But Sharon Stone, this is when they first meet.
If your husband ever comes home, tell him I know all about Violin. It's disease in a jar.
And she like tries to hit her with a golf club, but she gets a phone from Sharon Stone. And again, how horny this movie is. Halle Berry shoves it like onto her vulva.
Take my phone.
And I'm like, what are we doing? Because, here's the funny thing, though. Where else is she going to put it with that costume on? Like,
very true.
There's nowhere else to fucking put it. But yeah, it's so gross. I do also have to talk about this extra. I don't remember. This is before the opera scene or the like weird, like, it doesn't matter. We're not going to talk about that too much. But there's this great moment where a security guard, where Halle Berry breaks into the opera place, and the security guard is a Neil Breen level extra. He goes, "Call the cops." You're not going to believe this.
Call the cops. You're not gonna believe this.
And the delivery is, I cannot stress, Neil Breen quality.
It is pretty amazing.
Oh, it is so good.
Call the cops. You're not gonna believe this.
And so she gets caught in this place. She fights Benjamin Bratt in the backstage of this thing. And again, this movie's so fucking horny. The lines, she's like, cats come when they feel like it.
Cats come when they feel like it. Not when they're told.
I'm not gonna tell you again. You turn around, you put your hands on your head.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, all right. Like, I don't need to fucking, all right. And again, the thing that's wild to me is like Halle Berry is a gorgeous woman. It's very sexy. Her being like this playful, sexy badass is the most cringeworthy, awful thing in this movie. It's like, how could she not pull that off? She's fucking Halle Berry. I don't understand how that happened. All the dialogue is just so over the top and horny and gross. It's really bad.
I'm taken.
Does she know about us?
There's no us.
Too bad.
So Bioline, which is the name of the makeup thing or whatever that we've been talking, Bioline, or they call it Bioline. So anyways, it's giving her superpowers. Like, he hits her and the husband hits her and she's
her claim was makes your skin like living marble.
Yeah.
And like, that's not going to stop you from getting, knocked around too much.
Apparently it does.
It's not going to change the structure of your, like, you're not going to turn it into actual marble.
Apparently it does. Her skin is that resilient because he slaps her and his hand hurts and he's like, oh no. I gotta talk about this one little moment. It's a little cat thing. It's one of my favorite little cat things. It's her and Benjamin Bratt are walking down the street and
the rain.
The rain.
So dumb.
She's like, looks up and is like, it's gonna rain. I hate the rain.
I hate the rain.
And they run and like a thing falls on her face. And I was like, oh, I get it. Cause like cats don't like water. And I'm like, wait a second. Does that mean Halle Berry doesn't bathe anymore in this movie? Or more importantly, does that mean Halle Berry licks herself clean?
Ugh.
There's a porn for that out there somewhere. I guarantee it.
Have you ever wanted to lick your cat? Now you can, without the fur balls.
Benjamin Bratt fucks her, finds a claw in her apartment, realizes she's Catwoman. Sharon Stone, like I said earlier, frames her for killing her husband, and then she gets arrested.
I'm telling you, Slavicki had evidence that Bioline was toxic. That's why Laurel killed him. George found out, and she killed him too.
And they also put her in the Kill Bill jumpsuit in the scene.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes.
What? All right, fine.
No, not before Kill Bill. So, I mean,
this is a year after Kill Bill.
Yeah. So, the times.
Yeah. And so she gets arrested and put in jail.
Her escape from this cell is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I love too, Benjamin Bratt is contemplating the fact that he arrested her and the camera's doing a 360 spin around him. And I'm like, oh, it's like the camera's spinning because he's so unsure. His head is spinning. Filmmaking.
This is art from the artist.
You can't be creative in a studio world. It's just impossible.
And she just slips through the bars because, she's a cat now.
So, and there's a camera there. There's a camera that watched all of that.
No.
And
false.
I know. I wish.
False.
But then, like,
if she walked out and there's a cop just standing there, like, go back. You gotta get back in that cell.
She slipped through the bars. We gotta fix this.
Yeah, we need a smaller bars or something. Yeah, no. She gets out, and I love like one of the cops walks around a corner, and apparently now she can teleport because she's behind one wall, and then the cop walks by, and she's suddenly behind the wall, behind the corner.
Yes.
Like,
And then
you had to teleport.
Now she can just jump from a 30-foot drop.
But she lands, and I love, again, how fucking horny this movie is. She lands in the street, and then we get a close-up shot of her butt sticking out, and a car hits her on the butt. A car that is driving down the street slams on its brakes and smacks her butt, and I'm like, why? Why?
And the guy has there's two possible normal reactions to this: is what the hell are you doing, and are you all right? That's his response. How is he rewarded for this concern? This fucking car stolen.
Give me your fucking car. Yeah.
Are you okay?
A girl like me lands on her feet.
She's got to go stop Sharon Stone. She wrecks all the delivery trucks that are going to take the drugs out. Cool, great. And then, I love this. Benjamin Bratt shows up at Sharon Stone's office and is like, I think you killed your husband.
What if I told you I know the truth? That I know who really killed your husband? That I know about Bulleen?
Why, detective? You make it sound like I'm a suspect.
Guess what? There's no reason he would think that. We get no setup for why he would think that's the case, other than he knows Halle Berry's character is Catwoman and he likes her, so he thinks maybe she didn't.
And he has no evidence.
He has no evidence. He has literally none. But he just shows up there and is like, I think you did it. And she kind of confesses, and he's like, haha, I got you now.
And you? What do you want?
Oh, you just gave me what I want. You just told me it was you.
But he wasn't recording her or anything. So I was like, you don't have her now because she just told you, and that means nothing. But okay, sure. And she shoots him.
Now, why would you believe it was me?
Because I finally trusted a friend.
Yeah, well, your friend just got you killed.
And then she's about to kill him, and then Catwoman shows up. CG whip, rips the gun out of her hand, and we're finally on the finale of this fucking movie. And so she like beats up her a little bit, and then just getting Benjamin Bratt out of there. And there's this great moment where they run around a corner and a guy pulls a gun up, and she uses her foot and her high heel to pin his arm against the wall with the gun. And in this moment, you can so clearly tell with where Halle Berry is and the angle the foot comes in that it is a different person's foot. Or like a stunt, like a fake foot coming up.
Stunt foot.
Yeah, to hold this guy's arm, because it literally, she would have to dislocate her hip and like move her leg from an entirely different angle. It's fucking amazing. So they're fighting, so he gets kind of away, it doesn't matter, and then she goes to fight Sharon Stone, and they have this big fist fight. And again, I have no idea why the movie wants me to believe that Sharon Stone can hang in a fight with Catwoman.
Nobody. Nothing.
We have seen nothing to believe that Sharon Stone has any sort of fighting ability. She's literally a CEO of a company. Yes. All you need is one insert scene of her like working out doing kickboxing. Mm-hmm. Cool, I'm on board. But we don't get that at all. It's just like she can fight. She's fighting with Catwoman. Great.
Well, her home defense strategy was a golf club.
You picked the wrong house.
So they're fighting. Basically, Catwoman's mostly winning, but then she gets stabbed in the leg with a piece of glass, and the scream when she gets stabbed is really great. So basically, Sharon Stone beats her to the point where she's falling out of a window in this building, and she's like hitting her with a pipe, and like is trying to kill her, and she keeps almost breaking the window, and then she eventually does break the window, and Catwoman's hanging there about to fall out. And this moment, Kyle.
Okay, the CGI here is great too.
Before even the fucking CGI, the one-liner. The one-liner.
The one-liner.
What the fuck is this one-liner? All right, so Kyle, this movie is about Catwoman. Yes. She's a cat, and it's also about this. The villain is a CEO of a makeup cosmetics company, right? Mm-hmm. Who's very vain and obsessed with beauty and all that sort of stuff. Time for the big villain one-liner as she's about to kill Catwoman. What does she say as she's about to knock her off of a 12-story building?
Was it like this game is over?
Game over.
Yeah.
Game over.
What does that have to do with literally anything to do with this movie?
I don't know. Halle Berry's retort was not much better.
No. Guess what? It's overtime.
Guess what? It's overtime.
Why are we making game references? This isn't...
Because writers 13 and 12 wanted it.
I was like, is that a callback to the basketball scene? Like, what is this? Isn't a basketball movie. This is a movie about Catwoman. I wrote a better one. You know what? Here's what Sharon Stone should have fucking said right before she tried to kill her. Sometimes looks can kill. Boom! Like, she's a fucking model for a cosmetics company that's making... Why is she...
Or even better, because it's cat theme, looks like your 9 lives have run out.
Boom! Any of these are better! Game over? What does that have to do with anything? I don't fucking understand it.
Oh, boy.
Well, here's what it should have been. Both of them. Sharon Stone says, sometimes looks can kill. Goes for it, and then Catwoman comes back with, guess you didn't know. Cats have 9 lives. Like, what? Then you get both. The villain does a villain long one-liner. The hero does a hero relevant one-liner. But no, game over.
This pisses you off more than
anything. It's like, why would you write that line? Game over?
Game over.
What does that have to do with literally anything?
Because you have 20 writers.
Oh, it's so stupid. Anyway, so there's some CG. She gets up, and then Sharon Stone falls. And is hanging.
She's also getting like scratched the hell out of.
Yeah. And she's hanging, and then she sees her horrible reflection in the mirror, and again, she's so vain, this distracts her.
Give me your hand! Help me!
And Catwoman tries to save her, and it's like, grab my hand! But she gets distracted by how ugly she is now. And falls.
And this fall is amazing. Like,
yeah.
Whatever they used for it, it just started flipping and then hit like terminal velocity.
Yeah.
It looks so weird.
It's great.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows?
She falls, lands on the logo for the company, gets electrocuted also because why not? There's like a zapping sound. I don't know. And then Catwoman gets to explain that, well, I may be lots of things, but I'm not a killer.
I might not be a hero, but I'm certainly not a killer.
Because I didn't kill her. She killed herself, basically. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
All right. If that makes you feel better. And then Alice Borstein's back out of nowhere. Like, we haven't seen her for the last hour of this movie, but she shows up and she's like, I'm fucking a doctor. And like, then her scene's over. And we get the final monologue, voiceover from Halle Berry.
Which after all of this, fuck you, Benjamin Bratt, I'm out.
Yeah.
You're a good man, Tom, but you live in a world that has no place for someone like me.
She leaves Benjamin Bratt. She basically does the, I'm not part of this world anymore because I'm a superhero now and I can't live in your world. And I love the dialogue. This monologue is so clunky because she literally says, and this whole time she's doing her model walk down the roof towards the moon, and she goes, sometimes I'm good, very good.
You see, sometimes I'm good. Oh, I'm very good.
Sometimes I'm bad, but only as bad as I want to be.
But sometimes I'm bad, but only as bad as I want to be.
It's like, what are we... Why write that like that? What's so like... I feel like they were like, because they know like Catwoman's a villain normally, right? Like to some extent. And so they're like, well, she's got to be bad. But we also want her to be a hero. So we can't have her say she's bad. She has to say, I'm bad, but only as bad as I want to be bad. I'm not like really bad. I'm just like fun bad. Like she's like trying to like ride that line of like I guess you could say I'm an anti-hero.
For anybody interested in Brian's spec script for the new Catwoman film.
It's so stupid. I hate it so much.
Freedom is power. To live a life untamed and unafraid.
I actually was writing a better Catwoman movie the whole time I was watching this, and I have a much better origin story for her that I'm not going to go into, but I think it actually works way better. So she walks into the moon, movie over.
What a film. It's bad. Come on.
I'm going to go good bad, I think.
The entertaining things are not meritable above how god awful this film is.
Well, that's the thing. If it was more boring, I would agree. But I was never bored watching it. Like it's not hilariously good bad. Like there are scenes like the basketball scene and like the one-liners and elements of it are like hilariously good bad. But it didn't commit the sin of boring me. Mm-hmm. So for that, I can forgive how like
True,
kind
it
of mediocre.
It wasn't a boring film.
I guess for that, I can kind of forgive how mediocre the rest of it was, and that gives it to good bad for me. But I totally understand giving it bad. Like I'm not.
Let me give it bad, and then parentheses on the bottom. Kind of.
That's going to do it for the 77th episode of Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. If you want, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/GBorBB. Get access to our podcast, to our Broken Dreams series, all that good stuff. You can also support us by going to tpublic.com and searching for Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. You can get this shirt. You can get that shirt. All kinds of other products. Quantum Physics.
You get a onesie.
Onesie. You can get a shirt with Kyle's face. You can get a shirt with my face. I don't know why you'd want to do either of those things, but you can.
And people have.
People have. Kyle's face, like I said, is walking around out in the world. It's terrifying. But you can do that, and that portions of the sales support us. You can also, with P.O. Box, one more reminder, we have a P.O. Box now, which that, again, here. If you want to send us movies or anything else, go for it. And I have a podcast called This Film Is It, where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode is out, the movie that we will be talking about is... the most recent full episode will have been...
The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
And that's that.
Pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Until next time, keep watching movies.
Maybe or maybe not kind of Catwoman. It's a weird one.
It's very confusing.